Welcome, everybody. We're so happy to see you here today. On behalf of Vedanta Society of Portland, I am a volunteer called Susie, and it's just my pleasure to get to welcome everyone and see everyone as we continue our holiday tradition of singing these carols and having this special time of spiritual reflection. We have 14 songs, talks, and spiritual readings today, and I will be your MC, so if you're one of our guest speakers, I'm sitting right here in the front. Each person has 5 minutes. I'll wave my hand when it's getting near the end of your time, and if it's the end, I'm going to stand right here to your side so we can be respectful of time, knowing we have so much to share today. And without further ado, I will kick us off with the first talk. It's very special, and as a point of etiquette, I do have my phone, but it's being used for timekeeping, so not to be a bad example of phone use. It has a specific purpose. All right. So the reading I'm going to share with you today is called Christ the Messenger. And this is a very special reading. We'll see how much we can go through in the few minutes we have. The wave rises on the ocean, and there is a hollow. Again, another wave rises, perhaps bigger than the former, to fall down again, similarly, again to rise, driving onward. In the march of events, we notice the rise and fall, and we generally look toward the rise, forgetting the fall. But both are necessary, and both are great. This is the nature of the universe. Whether in the world of our thoughts, the world of our relations in society, or in our spiritual affairs, the same movement of succession of rises and falls is going on. Hence, great predominances in the march of events, the liberal ideals, are marshaled ahead, to sink down, to digest, as it were, to ruminate over the past, to adjust, to conserve, to gather strength once more for a rise and a bigger rise. The history of nations, also, has ever been like that. The great soul, the messenger we are to study this afternoon, or in our case this morning, came at a period of the history of his race, which we may well designate as a great fall. We catch only little glimpses here and there of the stray records that have been kept of his sayings and doings. For verily, it has been well said that the doings and sayings of that great soul would fill the world if they had all been written down. And the 3 years of his ministry were like one compressed, concentrated age, which it has taken 1900 years to unfold. And who knows how much longer it will yet take. Little men and women, like you and me, are simply the recipients of just a little energy. A few minutes, a few hours, and a few years at best are enough to spend it all, to stretch it out, as it were, to its fullest strength, and then we are gone forever. But mark, this giant came, centuries and ages pass, yet the energy that he left upon the world is not yet stretched, nor yet expanded to its full. It goes on, adding new vigor as the ages roll on. Now, what you will see in the life of Christ is the life of all the past. The life of every man is, in a manner, the life of the past. It comes to him through heredity, through surroundings, through education, through his own reincarnation, the past of the race. In a manner, the past of the earth, the past of the whole world is there upon every soul. What are we in the present but a result, an effect, in the hands of that infinite past? What are we but floating waveless in the eternal current of events, irresistibly moving forward and onward and incapable of rest? But you and I are only little things, bubbles. There are always some giant waves in the ocean of affairs, and in you and me, the life of the past race has been embodied only a little, and there are giants who embody, as it were, almost the whole of the past, and who stretch out their hands for the future. These are the signposts here and there, which point to the march of humanity. These are verily gigantic, their shadows covering the earth. They stand undying, eternal. As it has been said by the same messenger, no man hath seen God at any time, but through the Son, and that is true. And where shall we see God but in the Son? It is true that you and I, and the poorest of us, the meanest even, embody that God, even reflect that God. Vibration of light is everywhere, omnipresent, but we have to strike the light of the lamp before we can see the light. The omnipresent God of the universe cannot be seen until he is reflected by these giant lamps of the earth, the prophets, the man-gods, the incarnations, the embodiments of God. Thank you. And now I'd like to invite our singers to lead us in the song Joy to the World, and everyone is welcome to sing along.
I wanted to second the welcome to everyone who has come back after such a long time. This has been since 2019 that we've had our normal annual Christmas holiday program. So I want to welcome everybody back in the spirit of joy. So this song is very fitting.
Of his love. sing everybody. And let nature sing. And earth and earth and nature sing.
Thank you. All right, I'd now like to invite Tom to lead us in Chant the Name of the Lord.
This is known as Chaitanya's prayer. Chant the name of the Lord and his glory unceasingly, that the mirror of the heart may be white and clean, and quench that mighty forest fire, worldly lust, raging furiously within. O name, stream down in moonlight on a lotus heart, opening its cup of knowledge of thyself. O self, drown deep in the waves of his bliss, chanting his name continuously, tasting his nectar at every step, bathing in his name that path for weary souls. Various are thy names, O Lord, in each and every name thy power resides. No times are set, no rites are needful, for chanting of thy name show fast thy mercy. How huge then is my wretchedness, who finds in his empty life and heart no devotion to thy name. O my mind, be humble and lay your grass. Be patient and forbearing like the tree. Take no honor to thyself with honor to all. Chant unceasingly the name of the Lord. O Lord and soul of the universe, mine is no prayer for wealth or retinue, the playthings of lust or the toys of fame. As many times as I may be reborn, grant me, O Lord, a steadfast love for thee. A drowning man in this world's fearful ocean is thy servant, O sweet one. In thy mercy, consider him as dust beneath my feet. Ah, how I long for the day when an instant separation from thee, O Govinda, would be as 1,000 years, when my heart burns away with its desire, and the world without thee is a heartless void. Prostrate at thy feet, let me be in unwavering devotion, neither imploring the embrace of thine arms, nor bewailing the withdrawal of thy presence, though it tears my soul asunder. O thou, who steelest the hearts of thy devotees, do with me what thou wilt, for thou art my heart's beloved, thou and thou alone.
Thank you, Tom. And now we'll all sing together, What Child Is This?
It really is great having the words up there that everybody can sing along. I please invite you to sing along with us. Let me just find this.
We need all the help we can get.
Yes, it's so true. I guess I can just look up at that. I do have it for some reason. Sorry. No.
You know what? It's in this, the words are in this book.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah, I'm pretty
Oh.
sure. So, I need a backup here.
Okay.
Let's see, what child
I think I can read it right behind your head.
is this? Yeah, okay. Here you go.
Okay.
Yep,
Perfect.
okay.
We're just old school, you know, we're used to having this stuff in front of us.
What child is this who laid to rest on Mary's lap is sleeping?
to invite Cheyenne to come share with us about the imitation of Christ.
So today I have an extremely long time to read from a very short book. And The Imitation of Christ. This book was anonymously written in the early 15th century by a monk. And then eventually we found out his name, Thomas à Kempis. German, Belgian, there are many confusions about his origin. But to give you a fact, this is actually a Vedantic text. Swami Vivekananda translated this text in Bengali in 1889 and gave it a name, Isha Anusaran. That means following the Christ in English. So today I will read each verse from this book and read the footnotes of Swami Vivekananda of what he thinks about this. So the first verse, chapter 1, on the counsels on the spiritual life. John in 8 says, "He who follows me shall not walk in darkness, says our Lord." In these words, Christ counsels us to follow his life and way if we desire true enlightenment and freedom from all blindness of heart. Let the life of Jesus Christ then be our first consideration. Swami Vivekananda points out to Bhagavad Gita chapter 7 verse 14. He said, the translation from him is, "This my Maya is divine, made up of qualities and very difficult to cross, yet those who come unto me cross the river of life." He also points out to a text called Adhyatma Ramayana, and he cites from there his translation, "Thus meditating upon the self day and night, let the sage abide free from all bondage." Part 2, Imitation of Christ. The teaching of Jesus far transcends all the teachings of the saints, and whosoever has his spirit will discover concealed in it heavenly manna. But many people, although they often hear the gospel, feel little desire to follow it because they lack the Spirit of Christ. Whoever desires to understand and take delight in the words of Christ must strive to conform his whole life to him. Vivekananda says, when the Israelites were conflicted by the want of food in a desert, God showered on them a kind of blessing. He cites from Bhagavad Gita chapter 2, 29, that when we read this part, that many of us hear the gospel of Christ, but yet little get affected. He says, others hearing of it do not understand. And in the part where it says that one who desires to understand should confirm in the whole life, he actually says in his translation and quotes from Mahabharata that of what avail is reading the Vedas without practicing religion? Imitation of Christ, part 3. Of what use is it to discourse learnedly on the Trinity if you lack humility and therefore displease the Trinity? Lofty words do not make a man just or holy, but a good life makes him dear to God. I would far rather feel contrition than be able to define it. If you knew the whole Bible by heart and all the teachings of the philosophers, how would this help you without the grace and love of God? Vanity of vanities, and all is vanity, except to love God and serve Him alone. And this is supreme wisdom to despise the world and draw dearly nearer the kingdom of heaven. Swamiji cites here directly, what will it avail to us that God the Father, Holy Ghost and God the Son are one in three and three in one? He writes from Viveka Chudamani, verse 58, wonderful methods of joining words, rhetorical powers and explaining texts of the books in various ways. These are the only for the enjoyment of the learned and not religion.
Thank you, Cheyenne, for that. And now we will sing together to the heirs of the kingdom.
I just wanted to introduce this song that is a very old song now. But anyway, I wrote it for my spiritual teacher to present to him because he wrote a book called Sermon on the Mount, according to Vedanta. Very powerful book in which he, like Cheyenne was just doing, harmonizes the teachings of Jesus, especially the Sermon on the Mount, with Vedanta. Swami Prabhupada was very fond of saying, if all other sayings were lost, if all religion was lost, and this one sentence remained, religion would still survive. And that is, blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. And that's what inspired this song. And I wrote it for Swami on Easter Sunday, but I'm going to do it for Christmas this year.
His are the pure in heart, for they shall see, they shall see, they shall see God. Rejoice, 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 the Lord of light is here.
What a beautiful song. Now I'd like to invite Eve to come share with us from Luke chapter 2, verse 1 through 20.
So this is Luke, chapter 2, verses 1 to 20. And it came to pass in those days that a decree went out from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be registered. This census first took place while Quirinius was governing Syria. So all went to be registered, everyone to his own city. Joseph also went up from Galilee, out of the city of Nazareth into Judea, to the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and lineage of David, to be registered with Mary, his betrothed wife, who was with child. So it was that while they were there, the days were completed for her to be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn son, wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, because there was no room for them in the inn. Now there were in the same country shepherds living out in their fields, keeping watch over their flock by night. And behold, an angel of the Lord stood before them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were greatly afraid. Then the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which will be for all people. For there is born to you this day in the city of David a Savior, who is Christ the Lord. And this will be the sign to you. You will find a babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger." And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men." So it was, when the angels had gone away from them into heaven, that the shepherds said to one another, "Let us now go to Bethlehem and see this thing that has come to pass, and which the Lord has made known to us." And they came with haste and found Mary and Joseph and the babe lying in a manger. Now when they had seen him, they made widely known the saying which was told them concerning this child. And all those who heard it marveled at those things which were told them by the shepherds. But Mary kept all these things and pondered them in her heart. Then the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things that they had heard and seen as was told to them.
Thank you, Eve. And now we'll sing together Silver Bells.
City sidewalks, drifting Halloween sky. In the air there's a feeling of Christmas. Children laughing, people dancing, leaving smile after smile, and on every street corner you will hear silver bells, silver bells, silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear that ring, soon it will be Christmas Day. String street lights, even stoplights, blink a bright red and green as the shoppers rush home with their treasures. Hear the snow crunch, see the kids crunch. This is Santa's big speech, and I'm always special. You will hear silver bells, silver bells, silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear that ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day. Silver bells, silver bells, silver bells, silver bells. It's Christmas time in the city. Ring-a-ling, hear that ring. Soon it will be Christmas Day. Soon it will be Christmas Day. Soon it will be Christmas Day.
Thank you. And now, Miriam, we invite you to share with us about mystic union in Christ.
Stand or sit?
I think stand.
Stand, okay. It may seem like a lot of rustling around to do the microphones, but when I first came, there were no microphones. There were no microphones. Okay? You had to project, that's all.
So I am reading from chapter 21 of Sri Ramakrishna and his Divine Play. First I want you to just look at this picture and think about how we are looking at the same picture that Ramakrishna was looking at when he had this experience. A year after the worship of Shodashi, the master's mind was eager to see the Divine Mother by means of another religious path. At that time, he was acquainted with Shambhu Charan Malik, who would read the Bible to him. Thus he became aware of the pure life of Jesus and of the Christian faith. As soon as the desire to practice Christianity arose in his mind, the Divine Mother fulfilled it in a miraculous way. He did not have to make any special effort. The event took place as follows. Jadullah Malik's garden house is situated at the south side of the Dakshineswar Kali temple. The master occasionally went there for a walk. From their first meeting, Jadullah and his mother loved and respected the master greatly. If they were away when the master went to Jadu's garden for his walk, the caretakers would open the parlor for him and ask him to sit and rest a while. There were some magnificent pictures hanging on the walls of that room, and one of them depicted the child Jesus on his mother's lap. The master said that one day he sat in that room and intently studied that image, thinking of the wonderful life of Jesus. Just then he saw the picture become animate and luminous. Rays of light emanated from the bodies of Mother Mary and the child Jesus, entering the master's heart and revolutionizing his mental attitudes. When he observed that his inborn Hindu impressions were vanishing from his mind and that different ones were arising, he tried to control himself by resisting them in various ways. He entreated Divine Mother, saying, "Mother, what are you doing to me?" But the onslaught continued. The waves of those impressions rose forcefully and completely submerged the Hindu bent of his mind. The Master's love and devotion for Hindu gods and goddesses disappeared, and his heart was filled with faith in and reverence for Jesus and his religion. He then had a vision of Christian clergymen offering incense and lights in front of the image of Jesus in a church, expressing their inner longing through prayer. After he returned to Dakshinaswara temple garden, the Master remained uninterruptedly absorbed in meditation on those experiences pertaining to Jesus. He completely forgot to visit the Divine Mother in the temple. The waves of Christian faith that swayed him lasted for 3 days. When the Master was walking in the Panchavati at the end of the 3rd day, he saw a beautiful but unfamiliar God-man with fair complexion advancing towards him, gazing at him steadily. The Master immediately realized he was a foreigner and that he belonged to a different race. He saw that his eyes were large and beautiful, and though his nose was a little flat at the tip, it in no way marred the handsomeness of his face. The Master was charmed by the unique divine expression on his serene face and wondered who he could be. Very soon after that, the figure drew near, and a voice from within told him, "This is Jesus Christ, the great yogi, the loving Son of God, who is one with his Father, who shed his heart's blood and suffered torture for the salvation of humanity." Then the God-man Jesus embraced the Master and merged into him. In ecstasy, the Master lost external consciousness, and his mind remained united with Saguna Brahman for some time. With this vision, the Master became convinced that Jesus was truly a divine incarnation. One day when we visited the Master, long after his vision of Christ, he raised the topic of Jesus and asked us, "Well, you have read the Bible. What does it say about the features of Christ? What did he look like?" We replied, "Sir, we have not seen this particularly mentioned anywhere in the Bible. But Jesus was born a Jew, so he must have been fair, with large eyes and an aquiline nose." The Master then said, "But I saw that his nose was slightly flattened at the tip. Who knows why I saw him this way?" Although we did not respond further at that time, we wondered how the image seen by him in ecstasy could resemble the actual form of Jesus. Like all Jewish men, he must have had an aquiline nose. Some time after the Master passed away, we learned that there were 3 recorded versions regarding the features of Jesus, and that one of them mentioned that the tip of his nose was a little flat.
Thank you, Miriam. Now we have a special song where we get to celebrate that wonderful thing, or some of us think it's a nuisance, snow. So we're going to go ahead and sing White Christmas.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Well, see, snow's okay, just not ice. I don't like the ice when you slide all over the roads. That's too.
Very.
White Christmas. Now I can find the other song that I was looking for, but I can't find it. Oh, here it is. I'm sorry. So organized.
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas. where the treetops glisten and children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow. I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be white. Dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be
Thank you. And now we'd like to invite you, Paul, to share your musical interpretation of Sermon on the Mount.
Okay. All you have to do is hit the button.
That's what I'm going
Paul
to
is so high-tech.
I'm really advanced in music now. I just don't need instruments. I just have to keep one finger, hit a button, call it a day. Oh wait, we need the video.
First, the purpose and goal of life. To be immersed in the bliss. Struggle we must,
Go ahead, it's a video.
no doubt about that.
Okay.
Struggle we must, no doubt. Be perfect. Be perfect. Be perfect.
Okay, at popular request, we will restart it.
This is the problem. I know.
One of the things about technology,
Multimedia is not as.
We're streaming on 2 different places,
Right.
online and projecting in the room, so we've got a couple systems we're managing. Excellent.
Hey,
now we're good.
First, the purpose and goal of life. To be immersed in the bliss. Struggle we must, no doubt about that. Struggle we must, no doubt. Be perfect. Be perfect. perfect. Be perfect. What is the meaning of renunciation? Renunciation of me and my, the ego. So there is something more, something greater. That is the spirit of the teaching. Be perfect. You have to attain that perfection. Be perfect. You have to attain that perfection. Be perfect. That's the urge in every one of us. We cannot remain satisfied with our limitations, with our imperfections. There's an urge in everyone to attain perfection. Be perfect. Unless we listen to the words of these great illumined souls, listen to the words of these great illumined souls. You see, we're hypnotized. What is meditation? It is the process of de-hypnotizing ourselves. You see, we're hypnotized. Be perfect. The reality is God, Brahman, nothing else. You see, we're hypnotized. And this universe is so real as I see it. And this universe is so real. And this universe is so real as I see it. This is hypnotic spell. Dive deep, oh my mind. Sleep with him, dream of him, walk with him, eat with him. Sleep with him, dream of him, walk with him, eat with him. Sleep with him, dream of him, walk with him, eat with him. Sleep with him, dream of him, walk with him, eat with him. So pray for everybody. And pray for your worst enemy. Struggle we must. No doubt about that. Struggle we must. No doubt. Struggle we must. No doubt about that.
Paul, certainly you have special talents.
Thank you.
That was a wonderful visual experience. Now we have a special talk by Swami Devishananda. He'll be talking with us about the teachings of Christ.
That's quite the introduction.
Taking shelter in the lotus feet of Sarada, our universal mother, and Sri Ramakrishna, the teacher of the world, and all monks of this monastic order, I salute them again and again. Dear devotees, my humble salutations and Merry Christmas to you all. So today's program is a kind of a prelude for the Christmas Eve. Now, the Lord has already filled us with lots of joy, knowledge, and peace. I'm just going to do something He has left over. There is some leftover of the God which I am going to fulfill that. So we shall experience one of the main teachings of Jesus Christ, which is how to pray. So Jesus teaches us how to pray in Bible. So before that, I will just tell you a short story. There lived a man like us, who is more of world-centered person, but ardent devotee, and he prayed to God that to solve his problems. So he had lots of problems in his life, so he prayed like us, please God, give me this, give me that. And God appeared, and God told him, you write all your problems in a paper and put it in a bag, and next day you come and meet me in the temple. So he obeyed, and he wrote all his problems in a paper and put it in a bag, and he was walking towards the temple. As he was walking, he saw all his village mates, all his mates were also carrying a similar bag and walking towards the temple. Amongst that group, he found a man who was empty-handed. Then he approached him. Sir, he asked, Sir, are you not carrying any of your problems? Don't you have any problem in your life? Then the man said, No, I have lots of problems. It is all coming behind. It is all in my truck. So there is a truck of problems. So this type of prayer is like a man-centered prayer. But Jesus Christ taught us how to be God-centered. So he put conditions, he put preconditions, how the prayer should be. It should be short, it should be private, and we should ask nothing except God. So that was the prayer which he taught us in Bible. So I hope you all know the Lord's Prayer. So let us chant. Our Father, art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not in temptation, deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. So this is the universal prayer, applicable to all spiritual aspirants, indifference of any religion they belong to. So we need to apply this prayer in our life. Now we have to shift us from God-centered to, from world-centered to God-centered. So this is the message. Now in this prayer, I have found 8 aspects. Now I will list you what are they, but I will tell you in brief because there is some time constraints. So I received a SMS this morning also from Cheyenne. So in detail we will see that in future. So the first is, Jesus teaches in this prayer how to call God, how to see God, how to remember God, how to see God, how to act in God, how to receive God, how to please God, how to be in God. This is something like a title given by our Chetananandji to his books. Okay. So let me go one by one in brief. So, how to call God? So, the first is how to call God. The first line says, Our Father. So what Jesus addressed God as Father. Now please don't think Father means our parent who we call daddy, papa, something like that. So here this is a concept, it's a beautiful concept. Father means protector or controller, or one whom we can trust or with whom we feel safe. Now it is like a fish feeling with water. The fish is born out of another fish, but with water it feels safe. So water is the father of the fish. So it is something like that. In Gita, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna addresses himself as the seed-giving father. Bija Pradaha Pita. And Arjuna addresses Krishna as Pitasi Lokasya Characharasya. You are the father of the entire universe. In Upanishads, mind is father. Now we can even interpret that Jesus Christ is telling his own mind as father. So that is one way of interpret. And also all our spiritual practices starts from our mind. So we respect our mind as a father. Now Upanishads gives a beautiful meaning on the word putra. Putra means son. So what is the meaning of son? Son means the father's son, not the sun what we see in the sky. So putra means, pu means one who completes the work of his father which is left incomplete. Tra means son protects the completion of the task as though father himself has completed it. So now we know the difference, the relationship between the father and the son. Now second, who art in heaven? How to seek God? Now what is this heaven? Heaven is, we define it as abode of God. Now what is this abode made of? It is made of purity or knowledge and bliss. There is another word called, in Sanskrit, heaven is called Swarga. Swarga, there are three sounds there. Swa means self, R means knowledge, Ga means bliss. So heaven is self, knowledge and bliss. So which is nothing but within a devotee. So we need to prepare our heart or mind with purity and bliss, and that is the abode of God. Third, hallowed be thy name. How to remember God or maintain God within us. Now Christ here puts emphasis on the name of God. So we have been singing name of God, glory of God all this time. And he says repetition of name means God in action. We are putting God in action. What is that? He is going to protect us. The God in action is protecting us all the time. So in fact every day we sing in our chapel Chaitanya's prayer, and also we chant this morning, chant the name of the Lord. And in that prayer there is a very strong verse which says, each and every name thy power resides. So the power of God is something like a detergent used to clean vessels in kitchen. So like cleaning our mind through the name of God. There is one beautiful incident happened in Swami Prabhavanandaji's life. Our Toby would know. when he visited Vrindavan. Vrindavan is a holy place where Krishna spent in his boyhood days. There Prabhavanandaji met a saint, and he was so luminous, and that aura was there, and you could feel it. Then Prabhavanandaji asked him, Swami, Master, revered sir, how did you attain this saintliness? Then the saint said, name of God, Nama. Just by chanting name, he attained this. And Jesus Christ say in St. John's Gospel, while I was with them, I kept them safe by the power of your name, the name you gave me. Now we finish 3, 4. Thy kingdom come, how to see God. Christ tells us that God's kingdom is already within us. And only that we have to realize it, we have to see God. So we have to see God within oneself, and then we see Him everywhere. So He is everywhere, but start seeing Him within first and then outside. Now we have a 5th one. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. How to act in God. We have to simply be an instrument in His hand. That's it. And Christ says, I do nothing on my own, but say only what the Father has taught me, and He who sent me is with me. He has not left me alone, because I always do what pleases Him. So how do we know what we do is the will of God? This is to be achieved only through spiritual practice. We can't give any tangible, logical explanation in this. So until we disconnect ourselves with this worldliness, we cannot know God's will. That is beautifully demonstrated in Sri Ramakrishna's life. He every time rushes to the Mother Kali and asks, Mother, should I meet him? Should I do this? Should I do that? He consults with Mother, and then he acts. So this is purely spiritual, and we have to practice it. As Prabhavanji said just now, we saw in the video, we have to struggle. So this is the preparation that we make ourselves fit to know His will through this practice of prayer. Now 6th, give us this day our daily bread. How to receive God. Now the daily bread is grace. This grace is obtained only through unalloyed faith. We have to wait for His grace anytime, every time. There was a young child, girl child, approached his mother and asked, Mother, I want to see God. The mother said, go to woods. You will see God there. So she went. She was waiting, and she saw that God may pass by, and so that she can say hi. So if she was child, then she became a girl. She was waiting. Then she became woman. She was waiting. Then she became old woman. Still she was waiting. And then God at last came and revealed to her and blessed her. So this story says that we need patience and faith. Look at her faith. Even it was delayed, she did not give up. She waited. So Jesus says, watch ye therefore, for ye know not when the master of the house come, lest coming suddenly he find you sleeping. So we must struggle to fix the mind on God in prayer and meditation. And we cannot buy God with our spiritual practices. God should choose us. And Jesus says, "Ye have not chosen me, but I have chosen you." And our Upanishads also says that. Nayam Atma pravachanena labhyuha. So we cannot buy God just because we have studied something, we know many scriptures, we are a good preacher. With this knowledge we cannot. Now 7th. And forgive us our debts, and as we forgive our debtors. This is how to please God. Here the condition applied, like buying a TV. Condition is forgive others first, and God will forgive us. So we are very good at accusing or blaming others for our mistakes. We need to stop that. Adam was blaming Eve, and Eve was blaming the snake. So please don't do that. Let us accept our errors and let us solve it ourselves. So how to do that? We have to build divine characters. It's listed in Bhagavad Gita. I'll just go through that. Humbleness, freedom from hypocrisy, non-violence, forgiveness, simplicity, service to preceptors, cleanliness of body and mind, steadfastness and self-control, dispassion toward the objects of the senses, and absence of egotism. Last one, 8th. And lead us not into temptation, and deliver us from evil, for thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. How to be in God. This is the last one. The Christ teaches how to be in God is to do self-surrender, saranagati, to God, and be humble. Most of the time we forget God who is dwelling in our heart, and we become slave of this bewitching Maya. So here the world is not our enemy. Please understand, world is not our enemy, only worldliness. Worldliness is our enemy, world is not our enemy. So Sri Ramakrishna used to pray to God as the Divine Mother, and in his prayer recognized God's temptations. And he says, I take refuge at thy holy feet. Please grant me, Mother, that I, thy child, may not be deluded by this world. He gives a beautiful anecdote, like the child was playing with the toys and happily playing all the time, and the moment the child feels a need of mother, it outcries. Then immediately mother rushes. So this is the example he gives, to always surrender with mother or father here. Now let us remember this prayer forever and practice it daily. From joy springs this world, in joy this world exists, and on to joy goes back this world. We experience God everywhere and within all, and we recognize that this is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever. If we are Christians, let us be a better Christian by remembering how to call God, how to seek God, how to remember God, how to see God, how to act in God, how to receive God, how to please God, and how to be in God. So let us be blessed, and Merry Christmas to you all, and peace be unto all. Taking refuge in the holy feet of Holy Father through Jesus, I conclude. Om Tat Sat.
Swamiji. And now we will sing the second to last song that we have as part of our program. So now we will sing Silent Night. Share a few closing thoughts with us before we sing our last song.
Taddinam durdinam manni yaddinam na peristutam. Meghachandam na durdinam. So, what is the meaning? That day is bad day, not the gloomy or cloudy or wet day. That day is bad day when we don't remember God. So it's a wonderful day that we are remembering God, we are singing the glory of God, and also we are rejoicing. That's wonderful. And this is the season when we rejoice because of the advent of Lord, and also teaching how to reach God. It's not that he came and just enjoyed. So it is a wonderful program. I thank you all for participating in this gloomy day, wet and cold day. And I'm also thankful to Devi Shananda for wonderful talk. And also all the participants, the singers, the piano player, all, especially the technical support.
Yes.
All are very well done. Suji, also this graphics. So very nice. It's a wonderful day. Only one thing we have noted that Devi Shananda told that we have cartload of prayers. That reminds me a funny story told by Swamiji. That as we know, Jesus had a little flat nose, maybe like me. But someone had very developed nose. So he was very ashamed and everybody would criticize him. So what to ask from God? His wife told him that, you should ask God to improve that nose. So he prayed to God, oh God, I'm very ashamed because of my nose. We are laughing, but we do the same thing. So he prayed to God and said, God, please give me nose. And all of a sudden he saw everyone, it was nose and nose. And what has happened? Now everybody would criticize more. So then all of a sudden, God, please take noses. So all noses were the one. Original one was also disappeared. So he said, lastly he said, okay God, I'm sorry. He asked him, troubled him so much. Give me my original nose. It's enough. And it came, the original nose. So we should not pray to God for our ordinary things. There are troubles that we face every day. But we must pray to Him for resilience, for brevity, so that we can stand any kind of situation that we face. That is wonderful. And it's time to rejoice. So, and wish you all the best on this holy season, and wish you Merry Christmas and happy and prosperous, spiritually prosperous New Year. Thank you very much.
All right, everyone, this is our final singing opportunity for this program. So sing loud and proud. We wish you a Merry Christmas.
This is dedicated. This we have to remember Swami Asheshananda. Asheshananda would always insist that we ended with we wish you a Merry Christmas. So I just want to make sure that we remember him because it really does remind me of the old days.
I'm not sure I have the right song sheet. Mine says we Vishnu a Merry Christmas.
That somebody said that. Very interesting.
Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Merry
Christmas.
Merry
Christmas.
All right, everyone, I just wanted to give a final conclusion, and to everyone who's joining on Zoom and YouTube, we're so glad to have you with us, and of course, it's so nice to see this room filled with all of your bright faces. We don't have any figgy pudding, but we do have some refreshments we'd love to share with you, and also prasad. So prasad is at the refreshment table as well, blessed food, so please take that. And I do have one request to leave you with, which is we'd love to continue this vibe of spirituality as we move into opportunity for fellowship. So my challenge to you would be to think before you get up from your seat of maybe one inspiring thought that you heard during today's program and share it with someone else while we're having our food together. So thank you very much for coming, and thank you for your presence.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Paul, can you come here? Because all the musicians were seen, but Paul was never seen. So
Yeah,
Paul, you need to
wow.
come here once.
Thank you, Paul.
All right, very good.
Charles, my mom is my. Sometimes people call me around here. So, seen you around. Nice to meet you.